Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the house of Kadraj. Um, that's Kadraj spelled pronounced uh Raj Kadraj. Okay. Most of you guys knew that. So we got a little Celine Dion rolling in the background. We're playing Immortality. Um, it's quite a heavy song. I play that song, and it reminds me of when my first love transitioned. Don't you love how that braid just stood up? Let's leave it. My first love transitioned. I always talk about my first love and go into light pieces of my story with him. Um, but I never really filled the world in on the fact that he's no longer with us. He passed away many years ago. And I guess I figured by never mentioning that he actually passed away, I would be I I kind of keeping him alive um, by not telling anyone he's no longer with us. He died on a motorbike in 2006. I wasn't there, which was my protection because had I been there, I think I would have died right along with him. I would not have been able to handle him dying. No way. That I know. And so the way things worked, it worked for me to exactly not be anywhere around um, for a while after. I found out long after the fact. We had already been broken up. We were teenage love. I was 15, he was 17, and we stayed together, I guess, up until I went into college or I moved away. We have such a funny, pretty story. Um, he was literally like, um, we were the opposite, let's just say that. He was like my Jack, you know, like to my Jack to his Rose. Me just being sheltered, um, especially in the beginning of high school. Um, and him being the total opposite. I mean, he had a record, a criminal record by the time he was 19. And the funny thing is, he wasn't a criminal at all. I consider him like a sunny, very misunderstood personality. We understand his family and the dysfunction and the things in that household. You understand him. However, he changed his life around completely. Ended up working for the same police department that used to that used to chase him. His story is remarkable, and I'm very proud to have been his girlfriend. Very proud. I still keep in contact with his younger brother, Peter, and we shoot the breeze about Michael all the time. Michelangelo was actually his full name. He's an incredible person. And I understand every year his family holds a tribute of sorts, and it's one of my goals to make them, you know. Um, that relationship was the most important piece thus far up until now of my life, in that being with him showed and taught me something about myself that no one else was able to show me. Michael put me on the highest pedestal, always, all the time. And I don't know if that was healthy for me or unhealthy for him, because I always used to just say, I felt weird when he did it, you know. But I guess he was comparing me to, I don't know, other girls he'd been with who, um, I guess had more experience. I don't know. Michael and I had that type of relationship where we would sit and we'd be in a restaurant talking, and everyone in the place would just be staring at us. I don't know what it was, whether we sounded like two adults or whether our conversation was just unusual, but we never had normal conversations ever. We would always talk about just deep aspects of life. This was an adult in a teen we were both adults in teenagers' bodies and grown adults. We sounded like we've been alive lifetimes. And people would just stare at us all the time. Not because we were kissing or anything like that. You know, we did that maybe in the car or wherever, but um people would just listen to us all the time. We would stop everyone everywhere we went. My first love. And without even realizing it, I've kind of always been in very unusual relationships. I cannot be a, I cannot be with a normal person because I'm not normal. Um, but I've embraced it. I'm very, very grateful that he showed me that about myself. Other than that, people in your, you know, your age group will just say you're like a drag or you're boring, but it's not that I'm boring. I'm just not interested in anything you're interested in, right? But there are other people like that, you know, on the planet, tons of us. Um, and so I'm on here looking to connect with other weird people, unusual souls, so we can just lift each other up in the vibrations of this planet. I feel like that's the only reason, or one of the main reasons I'm here. I've had at least 5 very near death experiences, and each time was nearer than the last. In that, there's a reason I'm here. There's a reason I'm here. I've had allegedly enemies I didn't even know about. I remember getting a phone call from one of my advisors, um, that I would call for every little thing just to check on things spiritually. He was more clairvoyant than me. And I just had this terrible feeling every time I would go into this place. A lot of people still don't know. Place that I was studying at, but the fact of the matter is there were people inside that place that had very, very bad intentions. Not everyone, of course. Everywhere you go is good and bad. And so apparently, because I was the type of person that when I wasn't pleased with something, I would write letters and let it be known. I wouldn't keep my mouth shut at all. That became a problem for them, and I was told they got together and did a few rituals so that I could die. You know, I mean, I can't say it any simpler than that. Um, they couldn't do it physically because then they'd go to jail. I had, you know, too many people would have tracked them down, and so they tried to just do rituals, take me out. This is what I was told. This is what Jerry told me. He even gave me time frames and told me how frustrated they were because they made at least two attempts. But it explained a lot because I ended up in the hospital that year 5 or 6 or 7 times. Just mysterious things, passing out for no reason. Doctors always saying you're perfectly fine. I don't know why you keep passing out or why you can't breathe. You know, they would check on my vitals, would be normal, just be mysterious things kept happening to me one year. And Jerry was like, "Yeah, they're working overtime, but you're protected. You're protected. You're protected." Um, this is very eerie, and I'll probably never tell the story again because I don't want to give it any more life. But that's what I was told. I could sense it. I did sense it. I had a really terrible feeling in my belly every time I would go there. The worst feeling. Oh my God. The absolute worst feeling. And I had thought maybe it was just nerves or talk about your instinct. I bring that up to say no weapons formed against you could prosper no matter how hard you try. When it's not your time, when you're here for a reason, when you're here for a reason, depending how large that reason is, and depending on how many people you're supposed to reach, you have a lot of protection. It's not just about you. The universe lives through us to reach people, right? And so when you think about that, it's much more, when I focus on that, it's really so that I could be grateful and remember that I've been protected even when I didn't know there was any danger. That's for sure. Because when I found out these things, it was pretty late in the game. It had been something that was going on for a while. All I knew is that I just felt awful, literally sick to my stomach every time I would go to that same place. And I literally was absent a lot because of that. Um, that being said, a lot of people even there don't know because again, there's good and bad in every place, every organization. But I also learned that I wasn't the only one. I mean, you've got Christian churches that are wrecked in the name of God who have people who just sit in the back and do witchcraft on each other in churches. This is like, I knew this since the time of my grandfather because his friends, they did rituals like it was a sport. You know, normal old folks play cards together. Nope, not them. But that's a cultural thing. And what I can say is this: my guides, my ancestors, they have lifted me up in a way that I could use whatever gifts come from my bloodline for good. That is the ability to work with and manipulate energy in a place of ownership, in the place of being a priestess. Um, and that's the highest frequency of witchcraft is priestessship. It's the ability to manipulate energies, spiritual forces, to have them move on your behalf um, at will, easily. And that gift runs through my bloodline. But that used at its best is to assist yourself, your life, and step in for others to heal people. Okay. That's what it was intended for. Religion calls the high priestess the tribe of Levi, which ironically, the tribe of Levi, they do dwell in the region where my parents were both born. That's Haiti, right? Same island of Hispaniola. They're both born there. So it's quite um, telling that that's also where the tribe of Levi originates from in the Bible. And the tribe of Levi is the priestly tribe, right? The ones who communicate with beings in the ether. That's our lane, so to speak. So the Lover's card comes up. Let's put that up there. I laugh because it comes up every reading. And if it were up to me, I would probably save it for just special readings, but they come up every reading, which means perhaps that's just what you guys want to talk about. Somebody's playing games in their relationship. Stop it now. Cut the games out. Come clean or don't come at all. People come, to the table of relationships with all these secrets, games, and manipulations, and we wonder why things don't work out. We wonder why our partners end up not being who we thought they were. Sometimes we forget we never came to the table. To the table very honestly ourselves. Sometimes we're so used to wearing the mask that we wear. The Chariot card comes up, but it's a female chariot. Someone's going to get themselves together and get themselves out of a hole that they're in. Sometimes we don't remember that we never came to the relationship clean. When I mean clean, I just mean energetically. We wear masks. Okay? We come to the table with other priorities. See how she's on her phone? Can't even look at the water properly. She's on her cell phone while in nature. Lord of mercy. We're in 14 minutes so far, so good. Someone's ignoring opportunities. I don't know if that's good or bad, but you're ignoring them. You need to stop doing that. I'm hearing that's causing stagnation for you. Okay. The positive aspect of that is you know how to say no when the time comes, but you also have to learn to be more optimistic. Okay. Work on your pessimism is what I'm hearing. The Fool card, carefree. Be a little more carefree. Take more chances. Don't overthink things. Do not overthink things. Okay. Sometimes lessons are best learned through your experience. I'm not trying to avoid the experience. A lot of times religious teach us to only look for blessings, live a good life, and everything goes good. That means you're spiritual, and you're spiritual if everything goes good, or you're blessed if everything goes good. You could be blessed even when things are not going good. It's in the not, right? It's in the tough and the things not going good that the lessons in our muscles are built, right? You don't ever have to work on anything. How do you grow? Where's your wisdom? Right? We want blessings handed to us without any trials or tribulations. And when people do have trials and tribulations, we say that they're cursed, or we say that they're not with God or not blessed. No, difficulty is part of life, right? We know that when it comes to our physical fitness, but somehow when difficulty comes in our life, we want to say that it's the devil rather than a lesson and something we have to learn. We want to cross our arms, okay, and talk about I'm not here for this. On the contrary, you are here for this, right? The universe is like a university, okay? It's given all away in the very word universe, university, but nobody wants to learn lessons. Everyone wants things to be peachy keen all day long, 24/7, and look down on people who have difficulties or who constantly have trials and tribulations, right? Label them, and sometimes even use it to your benefit, okay? Someone sits up at night, and I'm getting that you're putting on a face to the world, you're putting on a persona to the world um, that isn't real. You're literally wearing a mask. The mask that we wear every day that we don't care for, that we can't stand, we manifested that. Okay, humanity wears a mask. They don't even realize it. Hermit card comes up. Some of you guys are sick of lockdown. You're sick of this pandemic. But I'm getting that it'll be a little while because there's work that has to be done, inner work, personal work that has to be done. And we ain't getting out till the work gets done. That's how we're going to turn this pandemic around. We need to do our shadow work, meditate more, pray more, get into ourselves, get to know ourselves. Okay, 10 of Pentacles is next. That's success in family and marriage, the business aspect of marriage, building. Okay, this is a full, complete success. See the wife, husband, child, and 2 little dogs right there. Okay, I don't know who that witch is behind them, but maybe she's the dog sitter. I have no idea. There's a third party in the back. Okay. I don't see anything malicious happening. She's communicating with the dogs. That person might not even be on the 3D with them. The dogs are watching her, and it seems like the dogs are the only ones that see her. So this family's protected. That third party is on the other side. And the more I look at it, the more that's what it's telling me. Let me close out this particular general reading for the color. I hope you guys can hear me. If you can't hear me, comment. 9 of Wands. Look at how that woman is suspicious. She's in the woods. Lots of choices to make. She's a little suspicious, a little bit guarded. Let's get the official on the 9 of Wands. Let's get the official. It's a different card. Adversity, okay. That's what it looks like. Resilience and courage. Someone needs to be persistent. Have a little faith. Okay, but maintain your boundaries. You're being tested right now, so you're going to need resilience, okay? Fair enough. Resilience is the name of the game, don't we all? We could all use a little bit more of that. The King of Wands comes up. Your spiritual abilities are sharpening. Something's coming to an end. Somebody's moving into some official stability, either setting up a business properly and or legally, or even getting married. Okay, someone's tired of dating. Same old, same old. Yes, you don't mind connecting and getting to know people, but you want happiness in your life. Okay, and you want things to go in a direction that you want them to go, meaning you don't have time to be just messing around just to be messing around. Okay, Now that I'm older, all childish things are put away, right? We're not 16 and 13 on here where you can just date and date and date and date and date, right? And just feel like it's about being young and dumb. You want direction, you want focus of some sorts, right? Especially in your relationships right now. And you don't want anyone to waste your time. That's what that's telling me. Hence this card that came out earlier, the Hierophant card. Okay. That's a queen. She's on her throne. She wants a position. Give me a title. Give me a title, my nigga. Give me a title. That is so not how I talk. Queen of Cups. Confirms it. That's a wife card. Okay. Money manager, house manager. You're ready for stabilities. You're ready for your happiness. See that sun? Look how adoring she is. That could be a little girl coming back. Some of you had pregnancies that did not make it full term. Your babies are coming back. Very often when we have a miscarriage, that's an indication that it simply wasn't the right time for that child to come through. And many times it's because you were not with the right father or mother. And so that child literally about faces and makes a U-turn. Very often souls decide not to come here. They decide literally while they're in the womb that they don't want to do this. That's a well-known fact in the spiritual community, that sometimes the soul can and does change its mind. Oftentimes circumstances that are changing in the relationship, maybe an argument, constant fighting between the parents, becomes stressful for the soul of that child, and the child just decides. It's not so much that the child couldn't make it. The child decided, I'm out. I can go into a personal story on that. If you would like, although I would never wish a miscarriage on anyone, not even my worst enemy. It's quite traumatizing. Very, very much so. Swept under the rug in the medical community. But that's another conversation, so I digress. The Empress card comes up. Someone stepping into their divine femme. The Empress cards is a divine feminine. You guys are divine feminines on here, stepping into your power, but you had to go through some tribulations. Okay, you're still going through it. Some of you are truly learning to harness your powers as a divine feminine. Someone's coming in to help you. This someone could end up being a lover or a partner. Okay. That's the final card for this reading. I'm feeling like we're coming to a close. Let's just do a quick shuffle. Okay. The whole deck fell. Someone's watching as their cups fall into the water. What does that mean? I'm getting someone needs to let go of regrets. Okay. What you don't have, you're not supposed to have, and what's meant for you will be for you. Okay. The Lovers card came out strong and short. Try to resolve the feelings that you have of regret. Make a phone call, have a conversation. Call that person that you've been holding a grudge on or against, if it's possible for you to call them. Let those worries go. Let those regrets go. Deal with them fully and completely is what I'm hearing, so that you can make space for this. Something wants to come in. You've got to release those feelings. And sometimes, yeah, it means picking up the phone, having a conversation, asking a question, if you're able to do that, or just getting into deep meditation and asking your guides and your angels to help you release those feelings, those toxic, very heavy feelings that you're having about your past. Okay. I'm getting you're not alone, even though you feel alone, and find someone to talk to that you trust, so that you can get those feelings and thoughts out of your own head. Okay. Yes, it does deal with a heartbreak. That's a confirmation. But you realize the situation was very toxic anyway. You knew it had to end, but you were holding on to it. Haven't we all been there and done that? You're in hermit right now still. Okay. But as we said before, you're being prepared for something. Yeah, heartbreak is right behind it. You're definitely not alone. I mean, entire Facebook group, like 10,000K strong. And post after post, people are just literally in tears, heartbroken about not being able to forgive, and I'll never forgive. And I'll make posts every now and then, get 30 comments just to sort of lighten the group up. But that group is my research, to hear and understand the different things that other people go through um, on their journey of healing. Because you can learn from yourself in your life, but you also learn from what others go through. Okay. Um, I'm getting don't take anything for granted, even though the relationship that you had before didn't turn out exactly how you wanted. You had some good times. You made some good memories. And those will be with you. No one can take that from you. Hold on to that and use that energy to move forward. Okay. You're going into the next phase. I'm hearing leveling up, level up time. The night is darkest before the dawn. I love to say that because it's true. It gets worse before it gets better. And so don't give up, especially not on yourself. All you have is you. Okay. Love and lights. Doing this reading has been my utmost pleasure, butterflies. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.